get some serious gospel amnesia real quick. Here's the thing. What we think we want, we think it's better than what God has for us.
Yeah.
So I texted Brian Kwan while I was in the gym yesterday working on this sermon. Like I've told you before, I like get most of the notes done, and while I'm working out, I just keep working on it. Mm-hmm. And what came to mind, he was saturated a bunch of years ago when his son Brennan was little. And Brennan was a special kid, man. And Brennan made like straight A's or something. And I may be messing up some of the details. And so Ryan takes him to Toys R Us and says, you can get anything you want. And he walks in the store and he's just overwhelmed with all the choices. So he just takes his dad by the hand and he goes, Dad, why don't you pick for me? You always make good choices. And I texted Ryan because they have lost Brennan at 16 years old. And he went to be with the Lord, and in a very tragic way. And I just said, hey, man, the Lord put you on my heart. And again, I've just decided if the Lord nudges, I'm just got to do it and be obedient to what God told me to do. And I said, bro, I'm not trying to bring up heartache. But I do want you to know that your sermon and your son's word are still preaching to me all these years later. You know? And so what Brennan understood in that moment is his dad knows him better and will make a better decision for him than even he can. And so we think, God, if you would just get on board with my plan, it will be better than whatever you have planned for me. And it can't be. So if you're single and don't want to be single, could you get to the place where you trust that God's plan for you is better than your plan for you? And I don't know why. You will know why one day when we get to glory, it'll all make sense. And you'll be like, oh, thank you, God. I mean, I know it's kind of a joke of a song, but Garth Brooks, Some of God's Greatest Gift or Unanswered Prayers, is very theologically accurate, you know? Sure. You're in high school and that's the love of your life. You're like, dear God, please let me marry her. And then he goes back to his reunion 20 years later and he's like, actually, Lord, some of your greatest gifts are answering some of my prayers. Because, if God would have given me what I wanted when I was 16, I would have had like a Corvette or something and wrapped it around, just done terrible things. I did not have the maturity to even know what I was asking for. And so in his goodness, he said, oh, I love you so much. No way.
Yeah. And you said envy is an affront against God because essentially what you're saying is, God, you got it wrong.
You got it wrong.
Yeah. And
you gave him too much talent and you didn't give me enough.
Right. It makes me think of what Dr. Piper says, that the sin underneath the sin is unbelief. It's like we just don't believe God's good promises.
Yeah, that's it. That's a better way to say it. He usually says it better than me. I'm quoting Garth Brooks and making up.
But I mean,
smart stuff.
That thing that you said, like, our problem is that we think that what we want is better than what God has. Yeah. That's why we would ever even dare to go to God and be like, wouldn't you, if you just listen to my plan, it would be so much better. And I mean, I'm so glad God's patient because what a presumptuous thing to do, to go to him with my limited perspective.
And like sometimes I'll get frustrated as a dad with the kids because I'm like, no, this is going to be better. Like, you are going to love this. I know you're going to love this. And they're still fighting me in that moment. Like I get frustrated. And then to know that like God is just, that's not God. Like he'll still be like, listen, man, let's talk about this. Like I have something way better for you. Keep your eyes on me, So it's God loves us more than we could ever imagine. Even when we mess up, like I think you said it, Jesus doesn't stop knocking until he stops knocking.
Dude, yeah, two things are simultaneously true. Like, it ain't over till Jesus says it over. That I'll just say it in one sentence. So like he's knocking, and if you missed him at 6, maybe he'll be there at 9 and 12 and there, but he wasn't there at 8:30 p.m. There's a thing I thought about. I didn't share it. If you go all the way back to Exodus, when all the plagues are coming, I don't know if you remember. This is such an obscure passage, and there's frogs everywhere. And Moses goes to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's like, "Can you do something?" And Moses is like, "I can get rid of them right now." And Pharaoh's like, "Let's do it tomorrow." Yeah. That's what he says. Why would you wait till tomorrow? And then, because of Pharaoh's hardened heart, I don't know if I should say because, but the time lapse in the scriptures are Pharaoh hardens his heart towards God over and over and over, and then God hardens Pharaoh's heart.
Yeah.
Now, I'm in God's the cause of all things. But at this one, there's a little window into the heart of Pharaoh right now, and he's thinking, let me just submit and get these freaking frogs out of here. But I'm going to wait till tomorrow. And at some point, that could have been the moment where that final no was the last time that the master was going to drive by the corner to pick up laborers.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some people, dude, there are people listening to this right now based on there's like tens of thousands of people that listen to this thing. You're in the 11th hour and you have no idea. You have no idea. And I'm not trying to scare people in heaven. I don't think you can. I'm trying to urge you with the urgency of eternity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are some people, you are in the 11th hour. Like, there's car wrecks and there's medical issues. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so today is the day of salvation.
Pastor Trey was telling me about somebody he knows, a guy in his 60s, used to skateboard and was out playing with his grandkids, got on a skateboard and slipped, hit his head, brain dead.
Yep.
And just like that. I mean, I love what you said about it, though. You said, if you're hearing it, it's not too late.
That's right.
And also, it will be too late at some point.
Yeah, correct.
You know, both of those things are true. If you're hearing this now, you haven't missed your chance.
Yeah.
But this window is not going to stay open forever.
Yeah, we'll get there. The parable of the virgins in Matthew 25.
Yeah.
Everybody's invited till the party starts. But when the party starts, invitation's over, bro.
Yeah.
So the reality is that Jesus will return. And you will bow. Every knee will bow and every tongue confess that Jesus is Lord. The question is, Lord of what?
Right.
He will either be Lord of your salvation or your damnation. But he will be Lord. He will be glorified by your life. Either to display his justice or his grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, right now is the most important moment of your life.
That's right.
Those listening, those watching right now, if you don't put it off, as you hear us having this conversation, it's the master of the vineyard coming out again.
Right.
You know, you cannot read this and not make some connections to the parable of the prodigal son. You know, as we like to say, the parable of the loving father. But it's the father goes out twice. The master goes out 5 times a year, but the father goes out twice. It's to receive the prodigal son who comes back, but then also to go find the older brother.
Yep.
And to go, hey man, it's the 11th hour. Why don't you come in? You know, so he's constantly coming out. Every time you hear the gospel, every time someone invites you to a church, he's coming out.
And to the person that thinks they're going to pull off the thief on the cross,
Man.
do you think God doesn't know your heart?
Yeah.
And that's a depart from me, I never knew you kind of thing. Because to know is to love in the Bible. And Adam knew Eve and she bore him a son. There's knowing and there's knowing. And so, I mean, the question Jesus asked Peter in John 21 is not, are you going to do better? It's just simply, do you love me?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
And if you treat him as only a pragmatic tool in your own eternal journey, then you have not surrendered your life to the lordship of Christ who loved you enough to die on the cross for you. You know?
Yeah, isn't it 1 John when it says, don't be deceived. Don't so deceive yourselves and think, I can say this and live this way. You know, God's not going to be mocked. And man,
you can't catfish God.
We have
you cannot trick him with your online profile. Think about that. Just made that up.
That'll preach.
That's it.
Preach. Let's talk for a minute about the phrase, the last will be first and the first last. What does Jesus mean by this? I mean, is it about the order, the rank, what seems obvious from the outside? What do you think?
I think it's the same thing as another way to say it is whoever seeks his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for me will find it. Same kind of thing. So make yourself first here, and congratulations, that's what you achieve, all that this world has to offer.
Yeah.
But surrender your life to Jesus, which means to make yourself the lowest, you know?
Yeah.
And congratulations, the kingdom of heaven is yours.
Yeah.
So it's all the way back to poor in spirit versus pride in spirit.
Also reminds me of what he says to the Pharisees, right? Like, there are many people who are tax collectors and prostitutes that are going to be reclining at table, you know, while you are on the outer, in the outer darkness, right?
Go for it. I was going to say, it's a revealing of the cost as well. You know, that let's not forget, economically, the master of the vineyard is also losing out a bit here.
Yeah.
Because he's paying folks that came in and only did an hour the same. Economically, any CFO would tell you like, hey, that's not the way to run a business.
Right.
But that's the gospel, is that like Jesus emptied himself, you know, and all of us, we receive the same gospel, the same inheritance. We are reconciled to the same Father. So there is a picture here that he's giving to them to say, hey, listen, here's how, this is kingdom economics. This is actually how it works. And I need you to know this, because when I send you, there's going to be a lot of kingdom economics that we're going to be doing to further this kingdom.
That's a great.
I got something I want to read. I want to make sure I give credit to the right person.
Okay.
There's a saying, you know, you can, if you quote it once, you misquote them. If you quote them a second time, you can say somebody once said, and then the third time it's yours.
Yeah. Well, I just wrote this down from him. So I think it's Mike Leach, but I don't know if that's not right. I'll try to look it up. The kingdom of God does not operate on the currency of merit, but on the currency of grace. Jesus himself is the true worker who bore the burden of the heat of the day for us at the cross. He received what we deserved, so we could receive what we never earned. The generosity of the master is not injustice. It is the overflow of divine grace. The gospel frees us from comparison because our standing before God rests entirely on the generosity of Christ, not our performance. That's a summation of Christ's role in this. He is both the master of the vineyard and the guy that worked all day. Yeah, he's the just and the justifier.
I mean, his question is like a dagger to the heart. It's like, are you jealous because I'm generous?
Correct.
Like, is that what we're putting, like we're questioning him on his generous, like, I don't want you to be generous.
Do you begrudge my generosity?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a question.
And
but do you notice how it's always easy to be generous with other people's money? And yes, I'm talking about Marxism right now. It is anti-biblical.
Yes.
So Jesus is not a socialist. Jesus is not a communist. Like, yeah, but in Acts 2, didn't they share everything? Yeah, but not with the threat of the violence of the Roman government. The government didn't take their things and redistribute them. And the Bible says they sold their houses, which means they owned houses.
Yes.
And the Spirit of God moved them to sell some stored assets and be generous. And then not everybody did that though, because they met in houses. That's what they mean. Other people's houses? No, they met in the houses that they owned.
Yeah. And man, that conversation is a fascinating one, because even soft versions of that ideology can make it into, especially younger people, when we talk about, we should redistribute power, or like inherently wrong that this person has privilege. I mean, these whole concepts are from that same socialist Marxist belief system.
Yeah, it's demonic. Yeah.
Not the way of the Bible. Clear lines of authority, clear establishment of those kinds of
There is a kingdom, and this kingdom has a king.
Yes.
Right.
And he is fully in control, and he does whatever he wants, and it's always good.
Every economist alive would say, if you flatten the curve right now and redistributed all the money in one generation, it'd all be right back to the same groups of people.
Yeah.
Because hardworking people have stuff, man. Because they work hard. Period. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to be generous with other people's money.
Yeah.
But you could be, you want to pay more taxes? The IRS would gladly take if you want to throw in some extra.
Yeah.
Because, they do such a good job with it. Good gracious, man.
Well, I mean, I noticed the repetition there in 14 and 15. I choose to give. I choose. And they're not actually trying to be generous with his money. They're mad that he's generous with his money. Yeah. Which is crazy.
I might get this wrong, but the reality is it's something like 80% of millionaires, it's either one or two generations later, their families aren't millionaires anymore. And billionaires, it drops to like 60%. So I know there's some kids that grew up and daddy's got a lot of money and just hands it to them. It typically does not go good.
No.
Because they don't work.
Right.
And they feel entitled.
Yeah.
Well, then Jesus, at the very end of this little section, he's very clear about the gospel. He tells them, hey, the Son of Man's going to go, be delivered over, be condemned, flogged, crucified, raised. Third time, I think, in Matthew's gospel. Why would he pick this time, do you think, to share that with them?
Well, one of the things you always have to, like, you're completely reading that as a Westerner, you know, and Matthew chronology is not as important to him as it is to us. Yeah. So I'm just reminded of that in all the study that I do, because that's how I read it too. I think a part of the reason, I think like if I had about 3 hours to teach all this, I think the let the little children come to me, into the rich young ruler, into Peter starting to feel a little entitled. So Jesus tells a quick, don't compare and think you're entitled. You celebrate everybody that comes to me. Then the clarity of this is why I came. Yeah. The next thing that happens, bro, this is crazy. Jesus has just laid out for the third time his death and resurrection. Yeah. Period. Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came up and said, hey, boss, can my boys be in charge? Yeah. And he's like, did you not listen to the parable about you know what I mean? Like, first will be last. And it's like, okay, enough about you. Can my boys be first? Mm-hmm. So in all of that context, there's like this one, like everybody's out of tune, and there's this one clear note right in the middle, which is Jesus saying, please tune your life to what I'm saying about my life, death, and resurrection, and not to what you think this world in regards to power or status or stuff says.
Yeah, there's, now that you say that, I think sometimes there's cyclical storytelling or narrative in this style, and so you think about like what did he close out with Jesus' self-disclosure each time, you know? You know, talking about the Pharisees and taking up your cross, the transfiguration, the law and the prophets bearing witness, and now don't be entitled to your place in the kingdom.
Because then right after that, in my opinion, so there's two boys that are asking their mom to get us positions of power. And then right on the heels of that, Matthew shares about the healing of the two blind men. And all they do is ask for mercy. So those two are juxtaposed against one another. And it's like, this ain't how you do it, boys. Yeah. Two blind men have nothing, and all they ask for is mercy. Son of David, have mercy on me. And they're like, this is how you do it.
Yeah. It's good.
Well, Pastor Joby, you said that you don't often do this, but you gave this 4-step, hey, how do you get out of it if you're feeling entitled? It was so good. I want to maybe close by talking through those things again.
Yeah, I just made these up, but I mean, they're rooted in Bible stuff. So when you feel the comparison, the envy, that's not fair, what about me? Why does my brother-in-law get to do all these trips and I work hard and I don't get to, whatever it is. Yeah. Put these things into practice and see what happens. Number one, celebrate somebody else. And try to disconnect it from you. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, like I like to celebrate my kids, but I get, everybody's like, well, you must be such a great dad, or at least a great wife chooser, you know? So this isn't like truly celebrate somebody. I think I've mentioned to you before when we baptize all those people, man. Yeah. Every baptism I see, and dude, look at 3 baptisms on Instagram and all it'll show you is baptisms. And so I'm just going on and celebrating everyone I can. Just, you know, I mean, just celebrate what God's doing in other places. And I put my name on it, you know? Yeah. Just do that, because it's really hard to like be critical and celebrate at the same time. Yeah. That's one. Second is thank somebody, and especially thank somebody for something that you take for granted. So Gretchen's out of town this week. It's just me and Reagan. And it's perfect, honey. It's perfect. It will be when you get home, because I'm going to pay somebody to come clean it up, because I'm reminded in a few days of how hard she works and how much I take it for granted. Yeah. You know? I mean, you just assume that I open up the drawers and my underwear is just going to be in there. I just assume. And so don't assume, man. Unspoken gratitude is worthless.
That's good.
So say thank you to somebody. Number 3, this is going to be the hardest one for many people. Don't say this. Withhold a complaint or a gossip or a grumble. Just choose not to let it come out of your mouth. I know that guy next to you doesn't work as hard as you do, and everybody's going to talk about how terrible he is. Don't do it. Dude, that Philippians 2:14-15 is crazy, man. And I memorized it in the NIV. So do everything without complaining or arguing. everything.
Everything.
And you will shine like stars in a crooked and depraved generation. Like you want to be the light of Christ in your office. You think it's like reading Bible verses over people. Just don't complain or argue.
Yeah.
And it would be like they take the sun and plant it in the break room.
Well,
And it'll blind people.
Yeah.
Like, how come you're not complaining? And I'm telling you, I am allergic to it. I don't do good when people complain, you know?
Share the thing you said earlier about Jocko, about he said, like, you examine yourself first when somebody irritates you.
Dude, I don't know if Jocko's a believer or not. I'm not sure. I hope so. But he's got a lot of biblical principles that he lives by, you know? And extreme ownership is kind of his thing. He has just decided, regardless of the circumstances, I'm just going to say good. And so I saw this little clip. I sent it to our little family group text. And he said, in an environment when I'm working with somebody and they bug me and they get on my nerves, I have to own that and say, what is wrong with me? That I have some sort of unmet expectation from this person, that I'm not getting what I want out of this person, and I have to own that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a Christ-like thing to say.
That's log and spec stuff there.
100%, dude. What is wrong with me that you get on my nerves?
Chances are the answer is a substantial one, right? Something about what's going on inside of me is getting triggered.
it reveals a deep insecurity that you have no place in the hands of God. So,
Yeah, because what you think is you owe me what I want from you.
yeah.
And I don't like what you're bringing me.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, what I'm saying to you is I don't love you. I love the way you make me feel.
Therefore, I love me.
Yeah, I love me. Thanks for helping.
A lot of me.
And then the fourth one is, if you've never made a gratitude list, do it. So however many years you've been alive, just write one thing down that you're just grateful to God for. They should be serious things. So I have things on my list like the Bible, salvation, the sovereignty of God, you know, things like that. And then there should be things that they may seem silly to everybody else, but you're just grateful. You know, the Piney Woods of South Georgia, I put that on there. You know, our church has a retreat center that not only do I get to go and write sermons there, but I get to disciple a bunch of people there. I just love it. Back-to-back national championships for Georgia. That made it. Gretchen's smile. My brother Russ. My dad's salvation. So what begins to happen when I read this thing, my in-laws. Dude, I hit the jackpot on in-laws. All of them. Russ's wife, Shanna, bro, she's the best. Justin and Maggie, Gretchen's sister and her husband, dude, they're the best. My father-in-law and mother-in-law, Randy and Joy, bro, I light up when I see them. And so, is it just because we got lucky, or is it because I've been thanking God for them for so many years? And when I see them, I see a tangible evidence of the blessing of God in my life.
Yeah.
And so I don't know which one came first. They're awesome in and of themselves. But maybe half the reason you got all these problems with your in-laws is because you see them as a problem instead of a blessing. And so, I mean, I could just go on and on and on, you know? Clean running water, cool fall mornings, living in Jacksonville, the beach, ministry connections, all these kind of things, pheasant hunting in South Dakota. So when I begin to feel sorry for myself, the first thing I tell myself when I start like feeling sorry is I look at myself in the mirror and go, oh, Cupcake, it must be so hard being you. Because I was watching something on YouTube and there's some British talk show thing. They all sit on couches. I don't know what it's called. Some British guy with his legs crossed like a girl is interviewing. And there's 3, you know, famous people.
Yeah.
And the girl, what's that movie where they're all singing a cappella? It's like a musical movie. Pitch Perfect. Pitch Perfect?
Oh, good job. Yeah, I was like...
That girl is on it. And some other famous Hollywood actress is just talking about her hard life. And the Pitch Perfect girl goes, she goes, oh, Muffin, it must be so hard being you. And it's like, I don't know, some like super famous person. And it just like shifted it. So I will look myself in the mirror and be like, oh, Cupcake, it must be so hard being the pastor of the fastest growing church with a beautiful wife and 2 healthy kids that love the Lord, all living in America with your GMC truck and you know what I mean?
10 minutes from the beach.
So yeah, poor thing. I don't know how you do it all. So I just read this thing, man. I don't ever make it to 52 before it is a seesaw, dude. And if you plant your weight of your life on the gratitude side, then the entitlement is gone. It has no weight to it.
Yeah.
But if you get all focused on what you don't have, it's like you don't have any room to be grateful for all the great things you do have. So if you want to send me a complaining email, man, I'm telling you, I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to it.
I started doing this a few years ago. I heard you talk about it a while ago and thought, let me write my own gratitude list. And it actually helps you see God for who he is. So like on my list, I've got coffee, which I'm just like, I'm so thankful that of all the things, I mean, God took time to go, I am going to create coffee.
It changes the way you drink coffee, doesn't it?
Like you cannot believe. And then my wife, I mean, we'll have our wives on there, who I love deeply. And then I just recently turned 41. And so I went, well, God, what I want to put on there? And that's 1122. And the transition of 1122, I cannot walk away from that and be like, God, look what you've done. Like, look at our kids and my wife and our life. And it again brings you back to God, who is the giver of all these things. And I have a relationship with him. Like, I don't know how you can complain and grumble
So if I've had a couple of conversations with people and they're getting gripey, so just warning, I mean, not that you do this, but whether it's an employee or a family member or a friend, and I begin to feel this sense. Now, I want to be a safe place where people can talk about all the things, but if it gets real gripey, I'll just go, can you send me your gratitude list? That's just what I say.
That's good.
And hopefully they're smart enough to be like, I might need to read over that, you know?
Right.
And often what I find on there is the thing they're griping about is probably on the list, like their family or their job or their, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'll change. Jesus says you can change the world just by not complaining and arguing. Or Paul does. Jesus gives him the words though, because he is the living word that gives us the revealed word.
Amen.
It goes back to the brick thing. It's like they had the same information, It wasn't an external change. The definition of a victim mentality is that you believe happiness is dependent on something outside of you being different.
Yeah.
But when something inside of you changes, nothing outside of you has to, and they can change everything. We'll shout out Pastor Britt as well, because he has his regular list, and then he says, I'm going to make a list of gratitude to God for God.
I did that one too, because when I go to the sermons, I listen to what the guy says and do what he says. So he said, a gratitude list to God about God.
Yeah.
Ultimate reality, truth, love, Trinity, perfect community, willing to create image bearers, willing to sacrifice himself for us, glorious, judge, righteous, willing to reveal himself in his word, gracious, merciful, jealous, the source of ultimate knowledge, the giver of every good gift, not only timeless, but outside of its bounds, ever present, here, returning to make all things new, never surprised, first in essence, long-suffering, ultimately beautiful, limitless, relentless, Father, humble enough to put on flesh, always in line with your own nature, creative, worthy and desirous of our worship, forgiving, source of life, holding all things together, the prototoko from the dead, immutable, conqueror of sin, friend of sinners, omnipotent, miracle worker, our ultimate source of satisfaction, good, all-knowing, never tired, never busy but always working, mysterious, Hased, our source of gratitude, faithful even when we are not, just, slow to anger, patient. There's 52 things to be grateful to God about God.
And he loves me.
Bro.
You can spend a lot of time on every single one of those just to think about.
Well, if you try to do this, you guys got an advantage because you're Bible scholars. But here's the thing, man. You think you know God? Try to write down a gratitude list, one for every year of your life, about characteristics of who God is. My guess is, for the average listener, you're going to get to about 6 and be like, I've run out of all the theology words I know. And then you're going to have to dig into the word. Yeah. Which is a really good way to spend your time. And I bet you won't feel all entitled when you do these things.
Yeah, we can add that to the list. God is a self-revealing God. He wants to be known. And he tells us all these things about himself. Well, Pastor Joby, we're out of time. Why don't you close us with whatever you have, but you ended the sermon with a charge to us as listeners. Hey, check yourself, check yourself before God. Have I allowed entitlement to creep in? Have I started to compare myself and my situation to other people? So the place in the sermon I ended was, the text we finished with was the gospel, right? Jesus said, I'm going to be crucified. So we go to the cross, and he is crucified between 2 thieves. Yeah. And every single one of us come to Christ as one of those thieves. Right.
the entitled guy doesn't get a lot of ink. And he says, if you are who you say you are, then save yourself and save us with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is not much different than I worked all day and you only gave me this.
Mm.
And so is that your posture towards the Lord?
Mm-hmm.
The other guy, somehow, I mean, how does he know? Like, I don't know his religious background, you know? I mean, he's a thief. He's a murderous thief. When we say thief is not a strong enough of a term, by the way. They didn't, you know, they would probably just chop your hand off if you just stole stuff. And he he knows who Jesus is in that he's going to be with the Father, and that somehow he has permission to bring me with him. And he also realizes who he himself is. He's like, dude, do you know who you're talking to? This man has done nothing wrong, and yet we deserve to be here. And then he just simply asks for a favor.
Right.
So ultimately, that's how you get saved. God, will you do me a favor? Will you take my life? And then so you're going to give me eternal life. Okay. But you don't ever graduate from that position even, you know, when you're praying, you're like, God, will you put your favor upon me and say yes to this? And, or if I'm asking the wrong thing, will you put your favor upon me and help me understand why not? And even if I don't understand, to trust that it's good. And when you can't do that and live in the life of comparison, because it's impossible to fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, and fix my eyes on your Instagram page or look down my nose at somebody else. And so that's how we should come to Jesus.
It's kind of like the 10-10 life, right? Like you can choose joy. You can literally choose the joy that he offers you by focusing on the right things. Will you pray for us?
Be happy to. Father in heaven, Lord, I thank you that you, the master, came and chose us to come work in your vineyard. May we see it as a blessing all day, every day. And may we be excited to be door holders